good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be joining us from. Welcome to Monday Mindshift. I'm excited to be here and share our topic today on gratitude and how it can change your daily mindset and actually how it can change your life. It's my pleasure to welcome my co host, Suniti Biswas. I hope I'm saying it right or good enough,
Yes,
right?
you're saying it right.
So I'm Sean Michael, the Inner Potential Activator. I work with entrepreneurs, executives, leaders, coaches, founders to empower their life, to activate their inner potential, to release all the blockages that are keeping them from having the life, business, and relationships they want. And it's interesting because I was just sharing with Suniti before we went live how my relationship went through a little shift this week. Last week was rough, but today I've bounced back and I'm stronger. So I'll give Suniti a chance to go ahead and introduce herself.
So, hi guys, as you all know, I'm Suniti Biswas. I'm a leadership communication coach and I help people become the leaders that they want to be, the ones who can get people to shed their blood, sweat, and tears because that's what a leader gets out of you. They know how to communicate and they know that communication is not limited only when they are speaking. We communicate at every moment of our life. So, as that's my forte, I'm joining Sean here because I'm just supporting his role. He's the main person over here. It's his show. I'm just here as an accessory.
Yes, but I love having you here, Suniti, because you really add to the conversation. You bring a different perspective, and that's very welcome. So
Glad to
thanks.
be here.
Big thank you. Big thank you for your support, your help, everything. What
Glad
a
to.
great way to start our
With
topic of
gratitude.
gratitude. And I see Al has commented. Welcome, Al. I actually met Al the other day at a networking meeting. He's over, I don't remember where he's from. I think Malaysia, Indonesia. So we are global.
Yeah,
And I'm grateful for that, for sure. So let's do that button. Too many buttons. There's so many buttons to push. I'm grateful for options, but sometimes it's like push the right button. All right. To kick us off, research actually shows that gratitude changes our brain. It actually rewires our brain. It by practicing gratitude, it releases the happy chemicals. You might know them by that name or by their technical name, dopamine and serotonin. Those are the ones that make us feel good. Actually dopamine is one of the reasons why we feel very happy when we're scrolling through social media and we see comments, we see likes, we see cute cat videos. It's your brain, your body releasing these happy pills. It reduces stress. It increases your resilience. But did you know it actually helps with decision making and problem solving?
that's an interesting fact right over there. And if I'm not wrong, practicing gratitude also lowers one's cortisol, the stress hormone, as well,
Yes, that's the
right?
down
Because the
dopamine's
more
the
you
up hormone, cortisol's the down hormone.
expand, so it's a very interesting fact because uh, a lot of people think gratitude is just saying thank you for things, but it's not just saying a thank you. The American Psychological Association defines gratitude as a sense of happiness and thankfulness in response to a fortunate event or gift. But it's not just limited to tangible gifts and interactions, You can feel gratitude for experiences, moments, sometimes even just the world around you in general. Like you look at a beautiful sunset and you feel grateful to just be there, to be in the moment.
Well, I heard a new one and I love it. I adopted it. Sometimes the only thing you can be grateful for is your ability to be grateful,
Yep, that's right. That's a nice one.
right? Sometimes it's like you're just like, I can't find anything to be grateful for. Like, this is like, I'm at that.
Yeah, congratulations for not being a narcissist.
Yes. The second thing is gratitude increases success and productivity. A report was shown that people who practice gratitude regularly have higher energy, more motivation, and better relationships. Now, who doesn't want better relationships? And when I say relationships, remember every time this is a relationship. I'm talking to Suniti. It's a relationship. You guys that are watching, I'm in a sort of a relationship with you guys. So relationships are so important. And one study actually found employees who kept a gratitude journal are 50% more productive over their colleagues that don't.
That's interesting. I might sound like a bit of a skeptic over here, but yes, I know that gratitude is very important, but to play the devil's advocate, are you sure that it's really that effective, Sean? Have you ever experienced the power of gratitude yourself?
I'm a living example of it right now. As I said, last week was tough. I experienced some challenges in life and in my relationship. And I would say the fact that I'm standing here with a smile on my face, this energy you're seeing, is the result of my gratitude practice. And it is, I've seen it in my own life. So, yes, it is effective. And on the topic of gratitude and playing devil's advocate, I'm not talking about toxic positivity, right? Walking through life with your rose colored glasses on, like everything's bright and sunny and rainbows and unicorns. No, no, no. We're not talking about that. Yeah. We don't want toxic positivity because it doesn't help anybody. It We're talking about legit, because just writing a journal or just going, I'm thankful I'm alive, I'm thankful. No, it's got to be in your heart,
Well,
right? It's got to be real,
yes.
or it won't have the desired effect. So
More like the desired effect, it
it
won't
won't
have
have
any
any
effect at
effect.
all
In fact,
because
it might
even,
actually backfire.
yep.
Yes. So what about your experience, Unity? How has gratitude helped you? Or what does your gratitude practice look like?
So honestly, I have not been very big into gratitude. I only came to know about it very recently in one of my sessions with my life coach where I realized that I was not grateful to myself at all. So a lot of my journey has been about being kind towards myself and the fact that I was never appreciating that I was there for myself. That really stuck with me. So I learned that and she actually gave me some affirmations to practice, some gratitude statements to tell myself every day, like I'm grateful that I have my own back. And that's very necessary because sometimes we feel at our lowest and we are like, oh my god, there's nobody, who can I talk to? But you can always talk to yourself. Yeah, too much of it is going to make you sound mad, but you can, right? And that's something that's very beautiful
Yes.
because when we say gratitude, We think of grand gestures, we think of big things, but it's not about big things. Today, I can just say that I'm grateful that when I woke up today, my mom had a cup of tea ready for me. It made me feel good that she brought it for me. I didn't ask for it, but I
Yeah.
got it.
I remember going to the grocery store or the mall and I got a good parking space and I like thanks for the good parking space. And I could
Absolutely.
even flip that, when you get that parking space that's way away, I can be grateful that I have the ability to walk to the entrance, right? It also, that's the other thing. If we're looking for everything that's wrong, guess what we see? All the
Everything
things
that's
that are
wrong.
wrong. But if we, like we said, if we start looking for those little things, like I'm grateful for this cup of tea that's ready. I'm grateful for an electric coffee maker. I can push a button and my coffee's ready. I'm grateful for a good parking spot. I'm grateful for the technology that I got to meet Suniti and get to talk with her because she's on the other side of the world from me. And I probably never would have met her without this technology or anybody here in
Absolutely.
the room because none of them are in Guatemala.
And I'm pretty sure nobody else is in India as either, so I would have never met all of these
I think
fantastic
Al's
people.
probably the closest
And
to
there's
you.
so many lovely comments out
I
there.
think I think Al's
Yes?
probably the closest to you. He did confirm he's
Yeah,
in
he
Malaysia.
probably, yes. But still, Malaysia is
Yeah,
pretty
it's
far
it's
away.
it's close, but it's closer than the UK and Illinois. Because I actually know Sue and
Yeah.
Kimberly from LinkedIn, and they're part of the transformational book club that we do on Mondays. And so I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for this system that we can communicate, we can share ideas and all that. Um, I wanna. I liked what Sue said. I'm not sure what AFH is, but that salted caramel kindness. You know, it gives this picture. Caramel is sweet, but you got that little
It's making me
salt.
hungry, to be honest.
We don't lie.
But yes, it's a very beautiful concept. Salted caramel kindness, the way of thinking. That I was looking at the comment and I was thinking that yes, I'm grateful for this comment, salted caramel kindness. I'm definitely going to talk about it in my next sessions because it's a beautiful concept.
Yes, and it makes me think of. I had this. I used to go to this winery in Napa when I lived over there, and they had this wonderful deli with delicious breads and spreads and all of it. One time I went in there, they had raspberry jalapeno cream cheese. Now, initially you're like, huh? Like
Raspberry
raspberry,
and
very sweet, and
jalapeno.
jalapeno is very spicy, but it's
Yeah.
a beautiful marriage. That the
Is it?
sweetness, just like salted caramel, that sweetness with that contrasting flavor is magical.
Well, I learned about contrasting flavors when my sister introduced me to this beautiful concept of a cheese and chocolate sandwich. Can you
But
imagine that? Cheese and chocolate.
I've had cheese on or not cheese. I've had chocolate covered potato chips before.
No, it's cheese and chocolate inside a sandwich. And I was blown away. And I was like, you are a genius. And at that time, she was like an 8-year-old. And I was like, oh my God, 8-year-old genius, future chef. But yes, talking about flavors, it's another thing to be grateful for that we are able to know so many
Yes.
flavors, you
Yeah.
know, because we don't realize that in one day, the things we consume, we are tasting, we are understanding, we are enjoying
Hmm.
them. But we don't feel grateful for the ability to do that, or we don't express the gratitude to the person who is making all of it. There's just so many moments to feel grateful for, and we skip all of
Well,
that.
and as you're sharing that, Suniti, I'm thinking about back to the pandemic, right? And one of the symptoms, those tastes, sometimes we take it for granted, right? That I can enjoy these
Yes,
flavors. But as you were sharing, I was thinking, like, imagine those people who had COVID and they couldn't taste like all the wonderful
I had COVID.
flavors that we enjoy that we're talking about. And imagine if it was gone.
Yeah, I had COVID. Like my entire family got COVID from me. So we couldn't smell, we couldn't taste. It was everything was
Yeah.
bland. It was just bland, and it took so much enjoyment away from life, especially for a foodie like me. I was suffering a lot because I could not have my spicy ramen.
Yes, and
And
no
I'm
biryani or
Bengali.
any delicious flavors like that, right?
I am Bengali. We Bengalis are big foodies. We are all about food. You come here, all of us has a belly. So if you think about it, it's so much of a struggle because everything is bland. You can't smell, you can't taste,
Yeah,
and you're weak, so you can't even go and do anything. That's an
I can't
awful
really
place to be.
breathe.
And now that you can't do anything. It's a horrible, horrible kind of a sensation.
Yes. So wild flavors. When I lived in the US, there's a drive-in restaurant called Sonic. And in the summer, they have 2-for-1 milkshakes.
Okay.
And I was looking and they have the standard flavors, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. And when I was in California, we didn't have Sonic, but I was in California. There was this old mom and pop restaurant, and they would make a milkshake with any flavor you wanted. And my mom introduced me to peanut butter milkshakes, and I was in love instantly. I am a total like Reese's peanut butter cups, magical. So when Sonic had this buy one get one free, I'm like, okay, this is the time I can experiment with different flavors of milkshakes. So I think they had a chocolate peanut butter and then they had another one. I said, hey, can I get chocolate, peanut butter, and bacon? I love it. It's amazing. Like it's like salted caramel. Like it doesn't sound right, but it like the salt and the smokiness with the chocolate and the peanut butter. You don't know if you don't
I
try.
can't imagine
You
the
don't know if you
bacon.
don't try.
Oh my god.
All right. So gratitude. It's valuable, it's important, it rewires your brain. It Here's another fact. HR data shows grateful people get promoted 25% faster. And this isn't magic, it's actually backed by neuroscience.
It actually seems very logical if you think about it, right?
Yeah. Because as my one of my mentors said, what you focus on expands, right? So what are you choosing to focus on? Where is your focus at? Because if we're grateful, that's one other thing. In when practicing gratitude and living in gratitude, real gratitude, not that toxic positivity or that rainbows and unicorns kind of garbage, but real gratitude. you you're
That
more aware
reminds me of
for
something I
you
read.
notice opportunities that others might not.
Yeah. So when you were speaking about the HR fact, it reminded me of something that I read it somewhere that the trait gratitude, which is like an individual's natural tendency or habit to feel thankful, is a very strong predictor of one's overall well-being and other desirable life outcomes.
Absolutely.
So gratitude positively impacts our well-being in such intricate ways that we don't realize. For example, the HR fact that you said, I can easily imagine that somebody who is not getting promoted or not getting praised will be cribbing about it. But somebody who does not crib and thinks that, okay, I did a good job, I made my clients happy, I did something good for my company will see that. They are noticing, they are always noticing. They will, of course, reward the person who is showing up. I was in a session today for a very big automobile company, it's an international company, and I conduct training for their employees. And I asked one of them in the session, it was a session about accountability, and I asked them that how often do you appreciate yourself, or do you only pick out your flaws? And they were like, no, we focus on the flaws, we focus and we are very harsh on ourselves, etc. And I'm like, why? Why not be grateful to yourself and grateful to your company and grateful to your colleagues? Do you think you would have been this big company if you were not out there helping each other make the customer's experience amazing? Because their company is literally known for amazing customer service, and they were all looking at me like, aha, light bulb moment. So that was very funny. And it's evident in our day to day lives, but people don't
Right.
notice it.
Well, and you bring up you made me think of a very important point. It's very easy to do our gratitude journal, right? To say to ourselves, "Oh, I'm grateful for this or that." The other part of being grateful is like the way we opened, right? Sharing that gratitude with others, telling others you're grateful for the support they offered. You're grateful for the work they do. Whatever. Again, honest and true, no salted, like salted caramel, you know. Don't be a liar. Don't lie to them. Be honest. Show appreciation. How many
Absolutely.
times I read a story once about it was something about like two stories about one person every time they went to the restaurant, their service was mediocre. You know, there were a lot of problems, and they were complaining about all the problems with this restaurant and the service. And somebody, the other person, would walk in and they would greet and thank every person they interacted with. And they said they've never had a bad experience at a restaurant, right?
Perspective.
I mean, you think about it, people in service positions, wait staff, cleaning staff, how much gratitude do they experience on a regular basis?
That
Probably
reminds me of
very
something.
little.
It's a very personal habit of mine. I have a habit of saying thank you to people. So whenever I'm like entering the mall and the security guard is like bowing and opening the door, I'll say thank you. If I'm in a cab and the cab driver, when I'm getting off, I'll say thank you. When my mom gives me tea or some food, I say thank you, and I say thank you to everybody. And you would not believe, I used to get laughed at for this. People are like, why are you thanking them? Why are you thanking your own mom?
Not.
And I'm like, because I am grateful. They did something for me that helped me. So it makes sense. And they are like, no, it doesn't make sense. They're supposed to do that. It's their job. And I was like, it's my job to be a decent human being. So it's a very funny incident from my teenage years, like when I was in college, that my friends literally confronted me that why do you say thank you? Because they felt awkward that I would say thank you to the shopkeepers after we have bought our food and everything, and they just went away quietly, while my thank you would extend to a 4 or 5 minutes kind of a chat. I made so many friends like that. So
Yeah, it's
gratitude
bad.
is, we have to tell others. We have to
Yeah, it
express
should
it.
be our norm. It should be our norm, right? You know, somebody did something. They brought you food. They served you. They were friendly. They were helpful. Why not show them gratitude? It,
Absolutely.
we like it when people. I mean, I like it when people tell me thanks. So of course, everybody else is going to like it. We're all human. And I want to take a moment to welcome Leslie, Leslie Flowers,
Oh, hi,
another
Leslie.
great she actually does a Monday mindset event before mine, and I don't usually get to see her in my room because until the time change in the US we overlapped. So I'm grateful that she was able to join us today. So these are some ways to that we can easily practice gratitude, right? And I had a list of 60 seconds a day things we could do to practice gratitude. Start with this. Like if you're not used to practicing gratitude, you can just start with this. The three things rule. Morning and night, or morning or night, not morning and night. If you do morning and night, there's nothing wrong with that, but morning or night, write down, and I mean write with your hand, because that actually engages a different part of our brain than typing it or saying it. But actually saying it is good too, because it creates a vibration which goes into the universe. So that's also good. Write three things you're grateful for. And like I said, if you're having trouble thinking of what you're grateful, we can just say, I'm grateful that I'm able to be grateful. It can be that simple, because sometimes it's not easy to find what you're grateful for because we're not in the right state.
Of mine. Yeah,
Yeah. I love this one. This one's going to be probably going to be surprising for some. The gratitude reframe. Instead of saying, I have to, like I have to go to work, change it, simple restructure. I get to.
yeah,
I get to go to work. I get to pay this bill. There's another level. Like I've learned to say thank you, to be grateful when I'm paying the bills. Now, I'm not actually paying it directly to someone. A lot of times I'm paying it through the internet, but I just say a simple thank you. Thank you that I got this bill paid today. It's a simple thing. I get to.
that's one of the techniques I learned when I was teaching kids also. If you tell them that you have to do this and they're like, I don't want to do homework. But if I tell them you get to do a very fun activity that I'm going to share with you, they like it so much more. They're much more engaged and they're excited to do it, and the homework is definitely getting completed. So telling yourself that I get to do this, it immediately makes it so much more attractive as a task or attractive as an option that you're getting to experience.
Right. It changes again. It changes our brain. It changes our perspective and our thinking. It's
Absolutely.
like I was just telling one of my English students today or yesterday. They're like, it's hard to. I said, wait, what if we change the wording of that? I find it challenging too, because most of us don't like hard, right? Oh, it's going to be hard. Oh, I don't want to.
But challenging will make you
Right.
want to
It's a
try.
motivator, right? What was it? I was talking to somebody yesterday. I don't remember what we were talking about, but he shared that one of the things that got him to do the thing he needed to do was because there was like a competition with his buddies at school. Like that was the push that kind of, he's like, oh, I want to be the best, So there was that competition thing, and it actually helped motivate him to do what he needed to do. Okay. And did I cover all these? As we talked about, express it. It's multiplies it when we speak it and share it. It's powerful when we have it for ourselves,
Absolutely.
when we write it, we change our wording, all of this, but speaking it and sharing it just blows it up.
Yes. And I'd like to share something over here. If Sean might understand this very well as a father himself. A lot of times we take people for granted in our lives. And I'm an elder daughter. I'm very close to my parents, especially my dad. But all throughout my life, especially my teenage years, I'm pretty sure I was a pain. A teenage me was very interested in doing what she thought was rebellious because I always tend to go against the norm. So in my 20s, I kind of started realizing that I had been a very difficult child. And just one day I walked up to my father and I hugged him and said that I'm very grateful that you are my dad. And that was the first time I had seen my dad cry other than when my grandfather passed away. So what I'm trying to say here is tell people that you're grateful to have them in your life. Tell people that you're thankful that they are there for you because you never know that that might be what they need to hear at that moment. They have been working hard for you, they have been loving you, they have been loving you through all the mess that you have made. So even it's not just about parents, it's about everybody. So I nowadays I take a lot of time to check up on old friends and tell them, hey, I'm grateful that we're still friends, like we started back in grade 6 and we're still together. And a lot of them have told me, you just made my day.
Yeah, it does. It's
So
powerful.
check up on people, thank people.
Now, I'm going to throw a wrench in the works, as we say in English, right? When I was going through one of my trainings, the trainer was sharing from a training he had participated in. And in that training, there was a woman who was trying to start a business related to abused women. And of course, as we would expect, she had been abused. And she was sharing all the challenges she had been facing, and things, just she was trying to raise money for charity to help abused women. And she just was struggling so much to raise this money. And the trainer says, okay, I remember you said that you also suffered abuse. Yes, I did, but I've healed a lot from that. He's like, okay, have you expressed gratitude for that trial? She looked at him like he was crazy. Like, what? I've forgiven them. He's, no, no. Are you grateful for that situation? No, are you? That's crazy. But the the story went on. when she switched to being grateful for the abuse that she had suffered, she raised the money she was trying to raise in like days. It unlocked what she was trying to do by being grateful for the challenge. And I thought it was a good place to share that because I shared in the comments, think of a challenge you've faced and what is a positive lesson. So to even multiply that, not just take away the positive lesson, can you be grateful for that challenge? I myself, you know, in my journey, I hit my bottom. I realized I had, I went back, I had been, some of it was, I had memories of physical, mental, emotional abuse. But there was a one piece that I, like in the work, in doing the work, like trying to come back up from the bottom, I came to realize there was some sexual abuse somewhere in my history. I had no memory of it, but I'm just like, I was looking at all the pages of my life and I'm like, something had to have happened back here. So then I went,
Yeah, sometimes our mind blocks out
yeah.
memories. I figured mine out much later.
So in the process that I was going through to release all the trauma and the garbage that had been weighing me down, of course, I learned to practice forgiveness, to forgive those who had hurt me, and to ask forgiveness of those I had hurt. It was part of the process. It wasn't until several years later that I can stand here today and tell you I am grateful for all of that happened. I am grateful for even the situation that took me to the bottom, that took me to the edge of suicide. I was telling somebody this morning, if you've ever seen the movie where the car is on the edge of the cliff and it's about to fall and they're all at the back of the car like, nobody move because it'll just go over the edge, and they're all trying to get out. That was my life. It was on the edge. My marriage, I was ready to take my life. I said, I can't handle this. But because of support, because of community, those who rallied around me, I was able to forgive and let go of all the past pain, to request forgiveness. And then today, as I said, I can stand here and say, I'm grateful for all of that. Because I wouldn't be who I am today without it.
That's actually a very powerful inspiration for me because I'm still on that journey. I've not managed to forgive, not managed to completely accept. Like when my psychologist told me that write a letter to the person who sexually abused you, I was like, are you mad? Why would I? I changed my therapist a couple of times because all of them would say, write a letter. What would you want to tell them? What are your thoughts about them? I was like, I don't want to think about them. But then finally, my life coach kind of made me understand that you need to acknowledge, accept, internalize, otherwise, you will never get over it.
Right. We have to process
And you
through
have
it.
to be grateful for that. You face it and know the reality.
Yeah. As we used to say, denial is not just a river in Egypt.
Yeah.
And denying things and ignoring them doesn't help us.
Yeah. We say it very politely that ignorance is bliss, but apparently kids nowadays say delulu is the solulu, which I heard from my
Uh huh.
sister. But unfortunately, it never works. It never works. Reality comes and slaps you in the face.
Yeah. Well, and I have the advantage, I have a few more rotations around the sun than you.
Yes, about double, I think.
I don't know because I don't know your age. And I was always taught never
Okay,
ask a woman her age. That was,
I'm 26.
so not, yeah, I'm more than double. No, I'm not quite double. Not quite double.
Close, close.
I'm on my 38th. anniversary of my 18th birthday.
No, I'm not getting into math. Never was good at it, never will try.
And I remember we talked about that before. Like math was not your favorite thing, and
Never, never.
you were never so happy as the day you took your last math class. You're like, okay, it's done.
Yeah, and then I went to college and they're like, here's calculus for you. And I'm like, I thought I got rid of it. I was so not grateful at that moment.
Yes, it's. I know. I'm grateful. I had the natural knack for math. I've always been good at math. I'm grateful that, or my wife always says, when my son does his math, she's like, I'm grateful that he got your math skills and not mine. Because my wife is just like you. Like, she's like, she got through it and she does all the stuff she needs to adult, but she'd just as soon not do math any more than she has to. Thank goodness for calculators.
I relate. I relate to that.
Yes. All right. Um, so I'm going to post a question, but I'm going to ask it verbally too. Think about this. Who is someone in your own life, past, present, past or present, you are deeply grateful for? When was the last time you told them you were grateful for them? Just something to chew on.
You know, this question, like, anybody who knows me will know my answer to this question. There's only one person in this entire world that I live for, I breathe for, and they are the person I'm most grateful to. And that's my baby sister.
Yeah, I remember we.
And I tell her every day. And I tell her every day that I'm so grateful because without her, I would not be alive. She was the reason I did not commit suicide when I was thinking of it. And it's amazing because that little bundle of joy, 8 years younger than me, she has been my strength always. She's still my strength. Even now, if I get stuck in something, I'll call her up. She'll not give me the solution, but talking to her fixes things somehow,
Well,
magically.
you know, you bring up an interesting point because this was part of what I was dealing with, going through, processing this past week. And I think probably the trigger might have been from the Transformational Book Club. And we were reading from Nonviolent Communication. A better title, Compassionate Communication. Because, I think nonviolent communication, people go, well, I'm not violent. I'm a peaceful person. I'm like Gandhi. But it's not about violence. It's about communicating with compassion. But there's a story of a principal at a school. And she comes back from lunch, and there's one of the young students sitting there, kind of looking down outside of her office. And she sat down, and the little girl says, have you ever had one of those weeks where everything you do hurts somebody and you never intended to hurt anyone? And the principal says, yeah. I think most of us could say yes. So then Millie told the principal everything that had happened. And the principal is listening, and she's looking at her watch because she's supposed to be in a meeting and there's people waiting for her. And she's like, oh, like she's looking at this. But, to kind of wrap it up with this little girl, she says, Millie, what can I do for you? That little girl reaches over, puts her hands on her shoulder, turns her to face her, and she says, Mrs. Anderson, I don't want you to do anything. I just want you to listen. And the author shared that was one of the most significant moments in life. Or no, that was the principle. Most significant moments in life, a lesson learned from a child. Sometimes we just want to be heard. We just want to be understood. We just want to be told that our feelings are valid. What we're experiencing is valid. And there's extreme power in that. In my own situation, I was feeling unheard, ununderstood, because the situation is whenever I shared painful feelings, it was explanation, justification, solutions. And I didn't want any of that. I just wanted to be heard. I wanted someone to hear me. And that was powerful. And it causes an echo as well, because that person also, it unlocked something for her as well, to where she was able to open up to me.
Yeah.
And I could just listen, understand. We could say mirror, just kind of echo back, like make sure you're in your own words, like, this is what I hear you saying. And then just, not justify, but validating, like, oh yeah, I would probably be feeling that way in that situation too. If it's true, it's so powerful. That power of just someone listening to understand us, not to respond,
Listening.
not to offer us solutions. As a man, that's not an easy task. I've really had to work on that to learn that, because that's kind of our natural tendency, like, oh, there's a problem, let's fix it. I mean, I have to say, my musical Tourette's just kicked in. I don't know if you heard of what we call musical Tourette's. So
I
Tourette's
don't know.
syndrome is a situation where a person just says things and they're not really, they're nervous. They're not saying them intentionally. They say it. Like there's something that misfires.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Musical Tourette's is a random song pops up when a certain situation happens or certain words are shared. So
Okay.
Ice Ice Baby just came in my head, where he says, got a problem? Oh, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the whatever. I don't remember the rest of the league. But that right there, that line right there. Got a problem? I'll solve it.
No, it's something that men tend to do, that they are kind of wired to solve
Right.
problems, where we just want to rant.
Right.
We just want to rant. We don't want solutions. We want to rant, and we want to tell us that, yes, that girl, how dare she? We want you to say that for us.
Yes.
So yeah, it reminds me that I had my ex trained in that so well, and now I have to work on it again with a new person.
Yes. But as a man, if you can just listen to the woman in your life, and it doesn't have to be your romantic partner, it could be your moms, your sisters, etc.
Anybody.
But just remember, women, they just want to get it out, because they are very emotional, and there's all this stuff and they just need to get it out. I mean, I heard at a marriage seminar, you guys have like 5 times as many words a day than we do. Literally. Like women have to say that many words or they'll explode.
Yes, it does feel like we'll explode.
But as men, we're like, nope, I'm good. So as we get towards the end, my final thought to share is gratitude can't and doesn't change our circumstances. It can't. What it does do is it rewires our brain. And once we do that upgrade, opportunities start looking for you. So if you're watching this live or in the replay, I'll put it in the chat. If you're ready to make gratitude a daily habit, put the prayer hands in the chat or in the comments. And like I said, I'm going to demonstrate because I call them prayer hands, and I think that's what they are, but I've heard them called high five too. So
Guilty.
that's why I'm putting it in there so that people will know. That symbol, if you're in to practice daily gratitude, drop that in. Because I promise you, from my own experience, this is not just heady stuff, this is my own experience. It will change your life. And as we talked about before, it doesn't have to be this grand, massive gesture. It could be a simple thank you for being you. And that wasn't random, Suniti. That was on purpose. Thank you for being you.
We've already got Sue with her prayer hands, and more might be incoming. I'll go on to LinkedIn or YouTube later and share my prayer hands because I have to practice gratitude. I'm not very good at that. Like I said, I'm on this journey. I'm still learning. I'm still learning about gratitude because uh didn't have that many rounds around the sun, to be honest. So there's time for me to learn about it. But once you actually learn about it, from what I've heard from other people, it does make life easier because you learn to appreciate, and you learn to appreciate everybody and everything. And that makes life so much more beautiful because I don't think whining and cribbing got anybody anything in life.
No, and it as we said, practicing gratitude, and I want to highlight that in our last 5 minutes. There was a joke that I used to hear. Why do they call what doctors and lawyers do practice? And it was supposed to be like, don't they know what they're doing? They're practicing. Like, wait a minute, like these are professionals. So that's the funny. But there's a reason why we say gratitude practice, because we have to practice it. It doesn't come so easily. We're not trained at it. We live in a world, and there's a negative bias in our brain. I heard it said negative thoughts, negative talk is like Velcro. Or the other way I think of it is like when you walk through a field and you come home and you're picking all that stuff out of your socks, the little things from the plants that stick, they're annoying and sometimes they hurt. That's negative thoughts. That in your brain, they stick. So you got to take them out. Positive thoughts, positive items. It's like Teflon, right? It's like that non-stick pan, where they cook the egg and eggs just sliding all around. That's positive thoughts in our brain. If we don't grab a hold of them, they'll just slip right on by. So gratitude takes regular practice. It's something that takes practice.
Yes, and it's a habit you build, right? It's something that you have to build every day because, like, otherwise it will fall down like a pack of cards. Because you're building something, you're building that mentality, that mindset, and you have to do it every day. If you falter, then you have to start back up again instead of cribbing that, oh my god, I failed. Like we talked about in our last session, it's about
Right.
self-regulation.
And as I think I shared it last time, I've shared it a few places. My favorite Japanese proverb, Nana korobi ya oki. Fall 7 times, get up 8. Right? Life will knock you down. I promise. I promise. And
That's
when
good at
you're
that.
laying on the floor, it's going to be more difficult to be grateful. But if we hold on to that and remember to be grateful, I'm grateful. I have the strength to get back up. Unlike the commercials we saw when I was a kid, it was for some necklace that older people could wear so that if they were alone at home and they needed help, they could just push the button no matter where they were and they would send help. And the commercial on TV was this old woman. She's laying on the floor. She pushes her button and they're like, "Hello, Mrs. Jones. How can we help you?" "Help. I've fallen and I can't get up." So if you can get back up or you've got the magic button to call for help, there's something to be grateful for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Sue over here has spoken about the Calm app and the three things you're grateful for feature. I have the Fabulous app and it also has the same kind of thing, though I'm focusing more on the ADHD and anxiety side of it because those are the ones I struggle with more. But maybe now I'll start doing the gratefulness journaling as well, inspired by you,
Yes.
Sue.
And which app is that? Because I'm familiar with Calm.
It's fabulous.
Oh,
The
Fabulous.
name is
Okay, because
fabulous.
I haven't heard of that one. I thought you were describing it. It's a fabulous app.
So the name is
The
fabulous,
fabulous.
and they are doing a fabulous job.
Yeah, because I've seen another one on ads called Inner Tune. Same idea. It's got sound therapy and um, reminders to be more present, to focus on the positive. You know, this is an old song.
It's called
A
Fabulous, Sue,
fabulous
by
app.
the way.
Yeah, I'll put it. Um, let's see. The fabulous app. Put it in there. There's an old song that, again, it's in my head. it's it starts like, you have to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. I can't remember the rest. That part is stuck in my head. I'm pulling it up as we wrap.
I don't know why it reminded me of the Lion King song.
Yeah, it's a song. It was sung by Bing Crosby and many others. You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith, or pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene.
Can you share the link with me? This is lovely.
Yes, I will. I will send you a message with that. Or actually, I can put it in the LinkedIn comments and then everybody has it. Yeah, it's like 50s or 60s, but it's a beautiful song and it has a great powerful message. All right. Thanks again, Suniti, for joining me and discussing this with me. It's such a powerful topic. Thank you for everyone who was live and shared your comments, your thoughts, your ideas. If you're watching the replay, please drop comments. How has gratitude changed your life? How is your practice? What ways do you practice? Anything. We'd love to hear from you. And I look forward to
Thank you, everybody. It was lovely. The conversation was amazing, and personally, it actually gave me a lot of incentive to become regular with my gratitude practice as well. So I'm thankful to everyone because whether you intended or not, you did give me inspiration and motivation. So thank
this
you.
reminds me. I just thought about this. When I used to do Mindshift, there's a song, and I can play this because it's copyright free. Listen to the
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.
I forgot there's a big interlude. Oh, I want the chorus. Coming right. Right here.
I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only
My theme song because it's grateful.
Amazing.
Hey,
I want the link for
I
this
will
one as
send that.
well.
Yes, I used to play it as my mind shift, like when I was doing this solo, and I would have a few minutes waiting for people to come. And then actually now it doesn't even show in Restream how many people are watching. If people don't comment, we know nothing for LinkedIn. We only know YouTube videos or viewers. But that was my theme. It was part of my podcast, and it still, you know, resonates in my mind because it's powerful and it's a good reminder to
It
be
is.
grateful.
It is.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great week. Remember, all it takes is to say thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. See you next time.